I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
It ain't easy doing this gig. I know it isn't easy being a Dolphins fan, but trying to cover the Dolphins as a Dolphins fan, it's not easy. If you don't cover the Dolphins and you love this team, you don't really understand because as a fan, you can disappear. I'm not reading the news today. I'm just going to focus on the positive stuff. But when you cover the team, the Dolphins, and they're doing what the Dolphins do, it's very tough because you can either A, go the Hopium Pimp route, and I kind of understand that. It's good on your heart, on your psyche, and good on your clicks. But if you want to try to be balanced like I'm telling you I'm trying to do, it's not easy. It's just stupid stuff, bad luck stuff, shakes from the heavens, like, you know, the evil god's moneymaker is just going 24/7.
His boy. Oh, oui, monsieur. Oui. Oui, oui. Yes, a lot of it.
And there's always good things within that ugliness. But when you put the total soup together, you've got to be realistic. Now, the Dolphins just came off a nice win, and I'd like to have sat with that one. But then some stupid stuff came out. Not stupid stuff, but stuff that makes me feel stupid to be a Dolphins fan. Some good things came out, and some bad luck things came out. And then in between that, there's a lot of hopium, and I'm going to have to cut through it. So without being further enigmatic, Jackson's out for the year. The talk is the offensive line still amazing. I see people like going back and forth and patting each other on the back how awesome the offensive line is. I'm just going to give you a clear stat. We signed Tyrel Dodson, which I think is a very bright spot, and I wanted to rest on that. But then as I'm clicking through, I see Deshaun Elliot has a little statement about the state of the Dolphins. So those four things I want to get into and cover. Obviously, Jackson being out. I'm not a big fan of Jackson. I think he's not tough in a sense. He's not physically able to handle power. I think his technique is sloppy. I think he's a wonderful kid. He's big. He's got some move skills, and he gives everything he's got. But everything he's got is not enough. But when you pull him out of this lineup and you put in Lamb, who's set to retire, and he's older, and you can see how he looked, he's on his last legs. And this is really a difficult spot for this team, for this coaching staff, and for the fans. There is going to definitely be a step down. Clearly in the depth, Paul's not ready to play right tackle, much less left. And we got to pray he doesn't come in because it's just not going to go well. I mean, some areas, but he's not ready yet, guys. So we got to hope that Lamb plays the whole season. But Jackson's a good kid. He's a really, really good kid. But his loss is for the season now. And the Dolphins' offensive line, which is not good. I don't care how many times you say it. I got a nice little chart here that I would love to see somebody. It's not mine. It's just a fact. Have a debate about it. I mean, is it 4D chess? We'll get into that in a second. But Jackson's going to be done. I think it's really going to hurt us because when you start going to Green Bay and beyond, you've got defenses, even the annoying Jets. I said there's going to be a battle between the Jets and the Dolphins. No way we can lose to them. And things are happening, percolating up to make it like they're going to get an edge. Not saying they're going to beat us. I'm not really concerned about the home game, but the last game of the year. So I'm going to keep going with the rest of these stories. But I can't just sell you used cars and smile.
$15, 15 minutes, $25 half an hour.
I've got to be honest with you because for me, the worst thing as a Dolphins fan is when I believed and it didn't happen. So you're hearing for a while, the offensive line's so good. Curtis, you don't know what you're talking about. This guy, he knows, and this guy, he knows. And then all of a sudden, I say, well, you know what, guys, I don't think it's going to go so well this week. It doesn't go well. Well, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe all the other guys, they know what they're talking about. I don't know jack. Well, here is a fact. How do you, please, in the comments, wrestle with this fact with me and explain to me how this is like a good thing. Here, pressure to sack percentage and time to pressure. Time to pressure. The quicker the pressure gets there, the less bueno the offensive line is. The longer the pressure takes to get there, the more bueno that line is. It's like kind of 1+1. So you can see the Dolphins, I'm going to even do a little mark to show you, all the way on the left. You've got Carr with the Saints, Mayfield with Bucks, and then Lawrence with the Jags, and then the Dolphins at 2.4 seconds. Let's check some of those other teams on the other side. Oh, playoff-looking teams. Not all of them, but most of them. Love, Jackson, Allen, Knicks with the Broncos, Purdy with the 49ers, Mahomes with KC, Murray with the Cardinals, Daniels with the Washington Commanders. And then even down below that, you got Donald and Goff. And then Hurts at the bottom. Okay? So they're getting pressure much later. Okay? And it doesn't play unless they're booting out. If they're just setting up in their stance to throw the football, then it doesn't matter about their mobility. It's just how quick the pressure gets there. And we have with 29th. So if our offensive line is so good, then why is the pressure getting there that quick? I understand the scheme is to throw fast. Is it part of the scheme to get pressure that fast? Well, some people say, well, we throw screens and we let them in. No, we don't. Come on. It's going to bring us all the way up to the other side of the chart. So, guys, there is a clear fact that we saw against this week against a team that's, not super duper in the Rams, but that's not going to get you anywhere. And now you take Jackson out and maybe Jones out. Jones might be an addition. He's not in the right spot, whatever. So guys, this is reality. Does not mean we're not going to win and whatever else, but if you let people sell you used cars, then the team is going to expect, well, they don't really care. We could sell them used cars. If you're not a smart consumer, then you're going to end up getting used cars. Now, getting to Dodson, I think Dodson's a really nice addition. I would like to have talked about the win and getting Dodson and then simply lamenting over the loss of Jackson. Not like pouring tears up and saying, oh, that sucks, I feel bad for the kid, but as far as the talent, and that would be the negative. So you'd have two goods and one bad. But the Hopi and Pimps forced me to bring out this chart because they're going to just keep telling you lies. Whether they are meaningful or not, I don't know. But the biggest one that's the most annoying is Deshaun Elliot. Let me get the little thing here. You can go check the video. I'm going to edit it here. Finn's Extra got it here. Last year I played on a team that was soft as beep. There were some guys who were tough, but the majority of the team, they was not mentally tough individuals. And this should be the number one story for the Dolphins. And you would say, well, he's not a bad guy and he just sour grapes and whatever else. I even saw Omar Kelly say, well, it's not Pittsburgh and Ravens and one other team. Then that's, you don't know tough. So like if those teams are the tough ones, everyone else is kind of not tough. That's not what he said. And in fact, you had Ramsey come out and say, guys, we're not mentally tough, but had a big power speech to start the season. On top of that, you had Poyer, who we replaced him with, came here and said, you guys are mentally tough, but I'm here to make you mentally tough. And then his wife or girlfriend or whatever came out and said, they don't practice like they do in the Bills. They take all this time off. And then we got our own eyes. We've seen this team collapse. I would say it's not just mentally tough, it's physically not tough. I mean, you got guys that are tough. Ramsey's tough. Seal is tough on a defense. I think Brooks is tough. You know, this guy's tough on the defense, but he played on a defense. A lot of them ain't. And you can't say it was Wilkins. Wilkins was mentally tough. But on offense, you got a load of guys. You want to say Tua is or isn't, whatever. I'm not here to debate. But what other team in the league has a former player come out and say that on top of your number one defensive player who's going to the Hall of Fame saying it, and then the guy you replace him with coming in and saying it, his girlfriend saying it, and seeing us collapse and collapse and collapse and collapse. Now, maybe it changes. Maybe this Rams game is going to be to ignite us into a new universe. I don't know. But this is, it got to be a sign. And I think any content provider should be covering it fairly. Because if you don't, and you just talk about, well, you know, Dotson was signed and it sucks that Jackson was, then the fans might not, I wouldn't have picked this up. I was just like doom scrolling through Twitter trying to find a little extra information I saw. So I'd have not have picked up on this. And if it wasn't for him last year, we would have been in the playoffs. That hit, I forget what play it was, going into the end zone against Dallas, he saved the season. This team's not tough. Look at our GM curling into the corner when he was losing to the Titans. I mean, that's not tough. I don't know. You like McDaniel? You don't like McDaniel? Would you say he's tough? He gets his big... I mean, I don't know. The way I grew up, if a guy spent that much time on his looks, doesn't mean I would say you spend too much time on your looks. I'm not saying he's not tough or whatever, but I mean, I think Weaver's tough. But there is a serious problem. We're 3 years into McDaniel's regime, 6 or 9 years in Greer's regime, and you got multiple guys, 2 still on a team, and one guy's wife, girlfriend, and one ex-guy, all calling you soft. And we collapse all the time. We choke all the time. If we choke this year, this should be the death knell credo for this regime. Do you want to keep McDaniel? Fine, I don't care. Just get rid of Greer. We got guys that are always injured. We got guys that come in and it takes them years upon years to develop. And sometimes they're okay. Sometimes they don't go anywhere. And sometimes they're no good and we keep them around. Eichenberg. I mean, God, people are really telling me, and you, Eichenberg's good. That's crazy, man. That's so crazy. To have, I don't think I've ever heard something like that. And maybe one guy had sour grapes, but there's 3 data points, 4 if you want to talk about the wife or girlfriend, and then the 5th is what we see with our own eyes. This is a bad setting, and it sucks. I just had Cody. Cody shows me on the live. Mr. Success. He's like, well, I hope it's a good week for you on the live this week because he's not going to watch the Tyson fight. He's like, you're supposed to win. I'm like, well, it could have been. But this is reality. Because either he's lying, Ramsey's stupid, Poyer's stupid, and our own eyes are stupid. And if they're not, what do you do with a soft team that's both physically, I think, physically soft and mentally soft? And how many times have people been telling you that's not true? This is bad. Stupid. Sucks. How do you get amped up? I mean, we'll probably win this week and next week. But that is terrible. That is a terrible, terrible moment if it's true. But again, you'd have to discount all these players and all these events. And this is not to say Tua is or Tua isn't, because I know people are obsessed with Tua. But what do we know? We know that the team takes the identity of the leadership, of the head coach, and then of the GM, because the GM is the overriding God architect who's bringing all this stuff in. If we're soft, we'll see it play out this season. If we're not and we grow through it, amen, that'd be fantastic. We'll see it. But if we don't find our way, and look, what happened when Tua left? The team crumbled for one reason and the other. So for me, we've got a chance to disprove this or prove it. And if we come up short, that should be the thing that says, get out of town, Greer. Let's drive you out like Frankenstein.
Stop! Frankenstein Mountains.
Anyway, I would say I hope you enjoyed. I hope I have better stuff for you. I'm going to go get the film. I was been burning over this thing, and I'll get some film out to you and get ready for this Raiders game. I think we win the Raiders game. I don't see how we can lose it at this stage. But set your eyes on the Green Bay game. That's the game that's going to tell you. These two, I mean, if we lose, it'll tell you. But if we don't lose, we win. It's one thing. Green Bay will tell us a ton. Hopefully, we were a soft team. We were a soft unit, and now we've got it together. Maybe the Rams lit a fire on us to set us to the moon. I don't know. But this is bogus. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.